You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
Welcome to My Star Wars Life, a look at news, reviews, and other happenings from a galaxy far, far away. Here are your hosts, Scotty and JD.
Tangents running. They're gonna co-sign away and not
Welcome to My Star Wars Life.
Dear God, you're like a wrestling promo guy. Let's get ready to Star Wars.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Actually, if
The
you're
Mobcast Network is proud to present your Native American Spirit Guide,
Scotty. Also, I'm force sensitive.
You can't now. Not everybody can be force sensitive.
Yes. I have something to tell you guys. I'm force sensitive.
Welcome to Force Sensitive. How are you feeling today, JD?
ooh, I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am great.
I feel like we're about to get into a sweaty balls thing.
I'm sorry. I thought we were going to do like a force sensitive ASMR.
That's what I was going with. It was a talk show to help you get over it.
Like, so now I'm going to be using the force on you.
I have been taking
Your mumble tone right now is George Lucas. That's all I hear.
Oh, yeah,
I have been taking some medication to become less sensitive, though, because it's an issue.
If you're force sensitive for more than 4 hours, please see.
No, it's force sensitive too soon.
Oh, wait a second. Maybe he slept with Ray, and that's what he was trying to tell her.
Or he almost did.
Oh, yeah. He couldn't
Was done before
yeah.
he even saw her.
He couldn't get a stormtrooper codpiece off.
Right. Or, he tried 3 times in a row, and it just worked for him.
Good point. You haven't even done the introduction. Derailed his promise.
And scene.
We've crashed like an AT-AT on Hoth. Transports are now away.
Yeah.
I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by our Jedi Master
JD, hello.
and our co-host.
Oh, I still am waiting to be the man. No, that's fine.
Honestly, I forget,
It's
so you're going to have to
man-
remind me.
He puts the man in
only-
Mando.
I can-
Co-host.
I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by, as always, our Jedi Master.
JD.
And this week we have the man who puts in Mando.
The man who puts his thing in a Mando. What?
I'm okay with that.
First of all, I never said thing. But I started it and I went, I'm going to fuck this
We
up.
have the top.
You
we have the
just went-
top in
you
the
went
Mandalorian cohort.
That was Jet Porkins where he's like, and he just blew up.
Fat joke, man. I don't know
It's
how to
not.
bridge
It's the way he died.
Look,
Damn it.
look, I'm a little husky. I got you. I don't know. I know.
I can handle it.
See?
I can handle it.
It has nothing to do with weight. Don't shame me, sir.
Also, since we're talking about Jack Park and Eckhart, think about the future.
That's right.
That's right. I'm glad someone got it.
I got you.
I know you got it. Guess so. I don't know.
That means both Eckharts are now in Star Wars.
That's true.
I forgot about that.
Here's something crazier. Biggs and Porkins are both in the first Batman.
Like
Oh,
the
snap.
one with shark repellent?
No, the one with
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton one.
1989.
Because
That is kind of funny. They say Batman 89.
Uh-huh.
Biggs is the guy who's mirroring Thomas Wayne in the beginning of the movie. You think they're going to get robbed, and that's Biggs. And then,
No joke?
Yeah, and then Eckhart is, of course, Porkins.
Mhm.
Yep. He's great, though.
Think about the future.
I don't think his name was Eckhart in the Christopher Nolan version, but it's the same character.
Yeah,
It's
same,
it's the corrupt
Right.
partner / cop Gordon and all that stuff. So
Delightful.
yeah,
Welcome to the Batman podcast. No.
My kids love it. They have no idea, though. They love the old Batman. They think it's the greatest thing ever.
There's a time in my life
again the one with shark repellent.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic Batman.
That chart.
The blue and the gray.
Kapow, sock, wham.
There's something charming about it, though.
Yeah.
It really is. And it dominated TV for years.
Yep.
Like network TV.
Let's go, friend.
Right. It was like I think it aired on like Mondays and Thursdays.
That was huge.
It's huge.
Major run. I had a My Star Wars Life moment today when I took my kids bowling for the very first time. My kids they're young. And as we were bowling, I showed Finley, I was like, you have to reach out. And she did. And because her ball had enough spin on it, I was like, and pull it back. And she did that, and her ball curved enough.
Nice.
She knocked down like 3 more pins. And she was like, I used the force. And it was like
Yes.
proud dad moment.
Yes.
And this dude beside me heard me. A shout out to Ernest. He'll probably never listen to this. But Ernest heard me, and he walked over. He's like, oh, you a big Star Wars fan? I was like, oh, yeah, I am. And then, of course, it led into he mentioned some movie that came out. I don't remember the name of it, though. He mentioned a movie came out. And then
The Last Jedi?
What's that?
I love it.
And then he was asking for a review, and so I sent him to the podcast. I was like, well, if you want to hear the world's best, worst review, head on over to him. So hopefully he listens to it. Shout out to you, Ernest. You're the best, bro.
Shout out to Ernest.
Good dude.
Go to camp. Go to jail. Save Christmas.
Gosh.
And Borgnine.
Ooh, I liked
Oh,
him.
Borgnine,
Who's
yeah.
terrible in Airwolf, by the way.
Sir.
Damn fighting words.
Sir.
Have you gone back and actually rewatched it?
No, because I did that with something. What did I
then
do that
don't.
with? And it was horrifying.
Just don't go back.
Okay. That's
So,
fine. Airwolf can have that place of pride
So-
in my memory.
So to derail us to another podcast, there's a movie on the catacombs that I want us to do very soon called The Devil's Reign, and it's a Satan movie from the 70s. It's Travolta's first film. It's got Shatner in it. It's got Eddie Albert, but it also got Ernest Borgnine.
I'm all into this movie.
You got to come in for the Ernest Borgnine. You need to come in for watch
Sure.
watch that.
I just loved his name. Like his name.
Yeah, well,
Ernest
that's-
Borgnine.
And it's funny because he inspired all of those Star Trek characters.
Tom Skerritt's in it too.
Good Lord.
It's it's god awful.
It's a what's that guy's name? The terrible director that launched everybody's careers, right?
No, it's not Corman.
It's not.
No, it's not a Corman.
That was a Corman film. Sounds like a Corman film with that kind of cast.
You just wait. Just wait. We're going to totally do that. Anyway, hey, let's talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm down.
So I passed some topics around. I think I just want to go ahead and step into it in this.
Oh, like Kathleen Kennedy did. Huh? How about that for a segment,
Ooh.
folks?
Look there. So
We're in a
Subtle.
little segment
Ni-
we're now
nice.
calling.
Hold on,
Nice and subtle.
I would like to preface this whole conversation that this is the rumor mill. None of this is facts. But of course, this is Hollywood. They don't confirm anything.
Right.
So
Can we
it's
call the segment Bantha Fudu or
Poodoo.
Poodoo?
Bantha Poodoo,
Womp rat.
which is fodder.
Stupid Sedaris. Take that, you womp rat.
Womp rat.
Shut up.
Go back to your Ripley cosplay.
Oh boy.
I don't know. Take it out the Beggar's Canyon. Just stop referencing A New Hope and go.
Yeah, if you listen to Mando Monday this week, you realize that JD does not like Amy Sedaris. So
Maybe she was like, "Is this Star Wars enough for you?"
Ugh, God. Like, why couldn't that have just been Tracy Ullman, the original?
because I bet Amy Sedaris was the right price range. Oh, he really hates Amy Sedaris.
She's literally a pain in his ass.
The rumor mill states that it's Kathleen Kennedy's idea to bring Palpatine back
Yes, I read that.
for the movie.
Right.
It was originally going to be someone else. We had discussed that it was most likely Snoke, but
Yep.
Snoke was killed in Rian Johnson's.
Right.
So they were like, well, we need a villain for this. And so they went with, let's just do Palpatine because he's there.
Yep.
And I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that meeting.
So part of me thinks that it was put out because it feels a little attacky. Because I read in the article, it was a little like,
Again, it's a rumor.
yeah, it was an aggressive rumor. However, it does kind of go in line with stuff she's said, being quoted. Not to misquote. I'm not going to do it justice here, but her talking about there's not a lot of original content to use in Star Wars. And,
Right.
I mean, she said that, so it also has legs, so to speak. Like it sounds like it could have been done that way. It seems like a panic move that of someone if she in fact did suggest Palpatine. I believe she did so because she freaked out and said, these people need something.
Yeah, they need something, so let's give somebody familiar. So my real question with this is that I wonder if so is she in a meeting? Do you think she's in a meeting with JJ, and they're talking? I guess they're talking script notes, right? I guess, and or beats they want. And she goes, "All right, let's do Palpatine." And does JJ go, "Okay, cool," or just like,
well, I read something that I thought Colin Trevorrow had him in there as
oh,
well.
I forgot. Yeah, Colin. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Colin, she's like, you
So
know what? I like what
I-
Colin was doing with it. Let's keep it.
Well, I think Colin Trevorrow had the first draft. I think that's when the who was the first
He
director?
gets a story credit, I think.
Yeah, he does get a story credit.
And ampersand, which means they didn't fire him. So
Right.
If people don't know what that means, the ampersand is very important in the Writers Guild.
Right, but he they fired the first director, and I think they kept part of the script because it's not his whole script.
That's right.
And so, because he's been vocal recently, which is again weird.
Everybody vocal right
It's
now on
weird.
John Boyega is trashing it.
Really?
He's trashing it. I didn't read the full thing, but some of the stuff I read is, and it ties into something else we were going to discuss, but is that he's not happy. Allegedly, there's a rumor that goes with that, but he's not happy. He's been talking on Twitter, is what I've heard.
Right. I'm just curious. Thinking back, and I don't talk about it, Palpatine's fine. I think it's weird. And my biggest problem with I love the idea of Palpatine coming back, but I don't understand why this isn't your movie, your trilogy is this. Well, because they didn't think about it till late, and they didn't get in the room to plan out a trilogy. You knew you're making three,
but we knew that. We've said that.
Yeah, you're gonna make 3 movies. You planned. They didn't. And so this is what we have to do with this mess we've got. And it's a mess. It is a mess. I liked Rise of Skywalker, but I liked Rise of Skywalker because it's just okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right. And I've only seen it twice. I want to see it one more time in IMAX. But the more I distance myself from it, the more jaded I become up with it.
Right.
Yeah, which is like, I'm not happy that it's just okay, because there's good Star Wars out there. The Mandalorian's wonderful. I love Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
Star Wars works.
No, there's content for sure.
Going
back to Kathleen's statement,
Right.
there's plenty of crap to riff off of.
Right. So where's the disconnect? And so why do we now have to be like, well, let's just put Palpatine in it? That's my Kathleen Kennedy. And so,
That's pretty good.
it's dead on, right? I made E.T. work. And so I paid for Indiana Jones.
There we go.
There you go. So look, George handpicked her. He handpicked Filoni. Maybe I don't know.
There's something to be said for the fact that, and I mean, it's kind of a natural segue into your other point.
Right.
I think it's valid. There's something to be said for the fact that here we have a Star Wars that I enjoyed. The further I do get away from it, the more I look back on it, I'm like, I mean, there's things that I loved about it that I genuinely loved in Star Wars lore. We've talked about, how's your legs?
I'll be all right.
Okay. In Star Wars lore, I still love Leia's lightsabers. But I really hate the way the story unfolds when I think I just keep running the same plot holes, which led to another rumor, which we said in the last review, which was I thought the movie was directed poorly.
Right.
And then this new rumor gets dropped.
So this is
Reddit.
from a Reddit thread, and this is just some highlights from this Reddit. So there's an insider who anonymously went on Reddit. Again, rumor, take this with a grain of salt. But
some of the other rumors that have hit Reddit have been pretty darn accurate,
Right.
from Jedi Plagueis. Crazy stuff.
So it starts with JJ's very much liked by the production and crew and actors, which is probably true. Everyone seems like they're having a good time with it. The leaker who provided plot details months in advance came directly from Disney and had an agenda.
Yep.
And here's the crazy part. Allegedly, Disney wanted to throw shade on JJ after they lost the bidding war over Bad Robot earlier in 2019 when they announced he was going to Warner Brothers. And Basically, they were afraid that he was going to restart
I
the
don't know if that.
DCU and make it a rival to Marvel.
I don't know if they. I mean, what are they going to do there? You just didn't pay him enough. Like, you can't get mad. Hollywood doesn't have that kind of grudge.
I don't. Disney might. The mouse
Maybe.
might. The mouse.
The mouse may.
Rumor
big one-
can't say it's true or not, but we're dealing with a new Hollywood where everything's much smaller now,
Yeah.
and so if you're not with us, you're against us, and I could see that.
I mean, sure.
I mean, I could definitely, especially now since I have a streaming service, and now you're going to somebody with another streaming service. It's getting very, very territorial.
Well,
Medical emergencies.
I got out there and Greg's like, "Did you laugh again?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That happened last episode
That's
too."
true, it did.
I was like, "Oh,
People
that's
actually listening to the show.
that's
see?
a bit." Yeah, well, Wes and Greg are out there, and I
Yeah.
know they listen. Greg's one of our questions.
I'm gonna make posters for this and start posting them in like here, so they'll.
I love it if we could figure out a way to make them like wanted posters. I think some kind of cantina-y gimmick, without spending a ton of money, because I know it comes out of your pocket.
that. It does.
I'm just being honest.
So
yeah.
John Boyega was. So what was John Boyega about?
I didn't see a bunch of. Did you see more?
Yeah,
of it?
I did. So I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. Somebody, I mean, I could go find the article, but it's more fun to try to remember.
That's what we do on the show.
Yeah, basically, somebody was like, "Well, now that Ben's dead, maybe there's room for Finn and Rey," and he was like, and John Boyega, who's done with Star Wars now, was just like, "Yeah, maybe you can lay some pipe," and that pissed off Star Wars fans, feminists, like all these, saying that's a misogynist way to say it. And he was like, "It's not. You know what? Fine. Yeah. And he attacked back, like he wasn't backing down. And so half of the fans are like, yeah, don't take their shit. And the other half is like, you are a mean, misogynistic person that is hateful to women. And he's like, no, I'm not. You guys are idiots.
Right.
I mean, it was nice to see him not taking the Kelly Marie Tran, right? Isn't that her name?
Yeah, Rose.
Rose, like, who she got so much she bounced
right.
from social media for a while.
Yeah.
John Boyega is like, nah, man.
No, he'll keep.
We'll fight.
But I read something too that he did that, and then he's been pretty vocal that he's done with Star Wars. Like he makes it sound that way.
Yeah.
That his role is complete. Which almost all the trilogy players were that way too. I mean, Mark Hamill was done, Carrie Fisher, everybody was done afterwards, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I think it's just,
Especially Harrison Ford was just done with the movie.
yes.
What did
Yeah.
he say?
Oh, Harrison.
Oh,
Get off my movie! I gotta make a movie about a CGI dog.
Oh God.
You seen the trailer for Call of the Wild?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They put it right in front of the old Rise of Skywalker. I was like, well, we'll see him in a few minutes. My dad's like, what? And I'm like, nothing. Yeah, I just it's weird. I think it's interesting. It kind of leads in. Are we? Can I segue this because it's a perfect segue?
You can
Is-
segue whatever you like.
Is now that we've
no, you
moved-
can't because none of this can
We
make
have a
sense.
strict
You have to go
No
somewhere
segue
else and
policy.
come back.
They're just pointing to a sign up here that reads. Remember that scene in Wayne's World where it says no stairway?
Yeah.
They're pointing to a sign that says no segue.
Yeah, no, you just got to
I thought
randomly.
you meant the little riding things, not literally.
It can be both.
Oh, got it.
No, continue the joke.
I'll do a segue while on the segue.
Now that we're just like John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, and Oscar De La Hoya, we're on the backside.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, thank you. We're on the backside of Star Wars.
Also known as Apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot how bad that was.
Or Llewellyn.
Yeah, he's the Llewellyn.
I can't remember the first name. Anyway.
We're on the backside of Rise of Skywalker. We're on the backside of Mando, right? How are you feeling about Star Wars in terms of where we're left? Because it's always we've closed a chapter again.
You know where I am? I'm with A New Hope.
Oh, look at that!
Did you like
dad
that?
joke working
You
right
like that?
back in.
No, I do. I have some hope for the future of Star Wars.
What is it? Where are you going with it? Like, what's in your mind? What is the
New
hope?
trilogies, new
Yeah. So are you
television
looking for
shows.
original stories now? Like stepping away from now that
I think we're done. We're done with Skywalkers.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as we're going to get different new original stories because that's what's left. But
But is it?
Whether it's the same time period, I don't care. If we do Knights of the Old Republic, I'm down. If they go 100 years in the future, I'm down, right?
But are you still wanting Rey? Do you still?
No.
need
I
characters?
think I think
so
we're
you
good.
can close those characters out.
Yeah, I'm good with them. Like, if she had a cameo, that'd be fine. But I don't need any more of her story.
All right. What about you? Where are you on that side of things?
Okay, I disagree. I think we need more of her story because we didn't get a story.
I don't need any more of her future story.
I do.
I'm okay if we want to do some side stories of what,
No, I want to see what. My problem with the sequel trilogy, and I mentioned this last week, is that there's no meaning to it. There's meaning to the the prequel trilogy, and there's meaning in the original trilogy. There's no the sequel trilogy is a throwaway. It's a throwaway side story in itself. So if you're going to build this character and you're going to build this, if you're going to thrust this legacy on her, it's got to go somewhere, and it doesn't.
But I think if we ever do get something that happens in the future, we will get an explanation. Whether it's, I attended the Skywalker Academy of Jedi that was founded by, Rey Skywalker 3 generations ago.
Right.
Right. Like we'll get a line.
Don't think that's fair.
Well,
no, not
life's not fair, Highness.
No, I'm not.
Wrong, Highness.
Right. I don't. By meaning of fair, I don't think it's fair to the character.
Yeah. No,
it's a travesty what they've done to the character.
Well,
It's a travesty.
Because
Period. For me, it's travesty.
because it
Only 2 movies.
It
it's awful.
falls suit to what they do in the 2 films, and the third one that you don't know about.
I like how you've embraced it. Hey, we just don't mention it around him. Just it's like Christmas. It's like Santa Claus scenarios for me.
Ooh, spoilers.
But
What?
Like,
what's the spoiler?
Santa Claus? Don't be telling kids about Santa Claus.
we didn't say
What
anything
about it?
Uh-huh.
What about
About how
Santa?
awesome he is.
Okay.
He's awesome.
You scared me there for a second. Tell me something else.
But the sequel trilogy and those who created it gave no care to the characters from the original trilogy, or took poor care of them. And then they kind of treated their own characters like trash, and they ended up with Rey, who is an awesome character. I love Rey. But what they do to her is it is a travesty. They're like, we're going to stick her on the desert, and then that's it. That's the end of her story. It's funny how it's poetic that it starts where it ends, blah, blah. It's like,
See, that part doesn't bother me as long as she's going somewhere.
right, but no, you know where she's going? She's going to Lars' farm. She's gonna moisturize some stuff.
Preferably her skin, because
Right.
those twin sons will be murder.
Right.
I don't want to work on Owen Lars' farm no more. Maggie's farm, you can spin it. Sorry, I was just very excited about that.
What?
See, somebody knows.
I got you.
What's that
Maggie's farm?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Oh.
I ain't gonna work on Owen Lars' farm no more.
I just thought you were channeling Vanderbeek. I don't want your farm.
Oh, yeah, very good. Well done.
Bravo.
Well played.
So the more I am away from Rise of Skywalker, the more I'm just jaded. I don't know.
Here's my thing about it.
We didn't see Mara,
I wish.
right?
Yeah. Why can't we have her in this next one? So here's my thing. I think there is room for us to finally explore Rey's character. And the thing is, unfortunately...
No, we don't, because her whole character is that she's the granddaughter of Palpatine and she raised on... I mean,
No, the exploration of where she is now. Because she chooses to make a new life. Her story technically starts at the end of 9.
Bingo.
Right?
Right.
So what we went through to get there was watching people be put into a retirement home and killed. That's what they did with the original cast.
That was her prologue.
Right.
That was her prologue, right?
Right.
She was the only daughter that cared to come and visit.
Right.
And that's all you got from it. And that's why it's sad to me as a whole.
And then you find out
right?
she's the granddaughter of the evil neighbor. And
It's exactly right.
It's like, well, you're not... We'll take you in. And
But now she has a chance. So I would actually personally love it if I would love to see a Rey just a Rey movie. Just let's focus on it, singular focus. Let it be about her journey. And I think it should be into the unknown regions because now we can go anywhere we want. And I think that's the crucial part.
Well, yeah, with the new hyperspace laws. But anyway, I don't think I need to see that in a movie. If there were a couple novels, like they did with the original, boom, we had our 3 movies, then Heir to the Empire showed up, and we had thousands of books.
Yeah.
If they do that with her, I'm fine. Like, that gives me the closure. That gives me the story. I don't need, when it comes to the movies,
fair point.
When it comes to the movies, I'd love to see something.
Point counterpoint.
I'd love to see Knights of the Old Republic. I'd love to see, The Purge. What happened there?
I am just not
Night of a
interested
Thousand
in Knights
Tears.
of the Old Republic. I'm like the only Star Wars fan who doesn't really care about the.
I like it. I'd like it if it were very political driven and very Game of Thronesy sort of vibe.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah, I'm into that because then it's a different tone and feel. So when a lightsaber comes out, it's with purpose and not just like, hey, we got effects for it.
Then we get Pedro Pascal without his helmet again.
Oh, there we go. Back again. Who is he?
Force Skull.
Mando
Crush.
is currently where.
Mando. He's wearing a helmet. He's like, oh,
You're not punching my eyes out.
Mando is where, and I think the real hope of Star Wars lies because it represents a whole lot of other stuff. Star Wars now has an opportunity to become an episodic property in television format or streaming format, which I think is way better for their narrative. Star Wars needs time to breathe and move. We don't tell stories the same way. If you go back and look at the beat count, the way the stories flow in the original trilogy,
right.
Even to Phantom Menace, he tried some of that, and it just doesn't work anymore because our attention spans have changed, and so they modified it. And these new ones, they just choppy cut everything together. TV lets us, or episodic in that way, gives us the chance to roll out.
Which is
chapters.
also very ironic because, yes, that they give us 22-minute, 34-minute, 1-hour stories, but then we also want them all at a time so we can watch them immediately.
But see, I don't. I'm not a binger.
Are you not a binger?
I love the fact that Mandalorian made me love the show. I had to wait for it. I anticipated it. So no matter, to me, the effect is if I watched them now that we currently can, we go back and we watch any episode whenever we want.
Right.
I watch it, and if it's episode 5, I'm like,
yeah.
If I had binged that, I'd been like, blaze through that one. Never think. Now I have purpose to think about. I don't know. I'm a big fan of that strategy.
And maybe that was the whole point of the Mandalorian strategy. The whole absence makes the heart grow fonder. You had a whole week to just.
Oh, and it buzzed. They had the most talked about crap for 8 weeks straight. And then Witcher took it over.
Right.
But Witcher was a dump. Like, they just dumped it all out and said, here you go.
I haven't seen it. Is it not good? And my wife,
a big fan.
everybody I've talked to liked it except you.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about 50-50 on it.
I'm not a huge fantasy guy, like sword and sorcery stuff.
Do you think Daisy would come back and do the role?
No. They're all done.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they're done. If they come back, the cash cow on that is like, how desperate. Does Daisy get a career? That's the question that happens right now. The truth is, does Daisy get a career? John Boyega's got one. As far as I'm concerned, he's already done stuff outside this. He came from Attack the Block, which is a phenomenally well-made movie.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac is a champ. There is no champ. He's a winner.
Right.
He's the Harrison Ford of them all.
Right.
Daisy is the one that you have to watch. Just like poor Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher had a great writing career, but her acting career never really went anywhere like super solid. Postcards from the Edge.
The Burbs dropped Dead Fred.
I love The Burbs, though. It's my wife's favorite movie.
Okay.
Don't trash The Burbs.
So
I won't trash Airwolf. We've come to what's that called? A treatise.
So give it a couple of years, and do you think Daisy comes back?
Okay, so if what I was gonna dovetail to that, if her career doesn't, right, if she ends up struggling, kind of like Mark did for a while, right, if she ends up having to run convention circuits to make the money. Like if that's what she has to do to then I think we'll see her, doing
I think she does the movie before
Luke.
I think she'll do the movie before she would do the convention circuit.
What? But there's no movie.
No, I think if there was one.
Okay, but it was I think right now, if in 2 years, if they were like, hey, we have an idea for a Rey movie that takes place in 10 years down the road, I think right now she's like, no.
So the bigger thing is, what do we do about a villain? Because I think the Rey thing is one way, but let's just say on the table,
Thrawn.
She's gone. Rey's off the table, right? And now we have to talk about the new villain that comes in. One of the challenges with Star Wars is every single villain that's hell bent on Cobra style world domination is gonna feel the damn same,
right?
That's one of the bigger challenges. Like, how do you make a character? And I don't like individual bad guys. That was my biggest issue with Khan, Wrath of Khan, whether it's JJ Abrams or the original Khan. I don't like a singular bad guy. It's the problem with a Bond villain for me in a lot of cases. Singular villains.
Yeah, I got you, but did I hear you right? You don't like Wrath of Khan?
No, I don't. I like the movie fine. I just don't love that character. Like, I don't embrace him as much as everybody else does.
This is my looking at you distrustful face now. I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
Well, I'm force sensitive. I know what you're thinking. No, it's not that it's bad. It's just, again, a singular bad guy for me.
We'll save it for our Star Trek project, guys.
Yeah. A singular bad guy for me in the Star Wars universe is going to be very difficult to pull off. In Star Trek, it's intimate. You have a ship. We have a focus on that. In Star Wars, we're scattered all over the galaxy. So if it is Thrawn, then he's got to unify an army of some sort.
Right.
And then we're back to, this is just
And I think...
and it can't be the Vong, because that can never happen.
Right. I was going to say, you'd have to have an extragalactic threat like they tried with the Vong, and that was awesome in parts and horrible in others.
Yeah. Some of the bad in that.
See, because you've read most of the novels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're here, because I haven't.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
So
no.
Can we talk about it? It's Legends, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's Legends, yeah.
So if you don't know what the Vong is, can you just
The
give us
Yuzon Vong,
Yeah,
they
just
are
give-
from the galaxy over. And that's not necessarily where they started. They're a race of force null creatures. They can't even be felt through the force because they're not from the galaxy.
And that's why they won't fly in the Star Wars universe. I don't think they'll fly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, but
Aren't
as
they
a series,
insect-like, or they have like living ships or something?
they have they're very bio weapons.
Yeah.
But they're not the insects. The insects came after.
What was
They were like the Killiks or something like that.
what
Yeah,
what was
not
the lizards that Thrawn had that ate the Force or whatever?
Oh, the Yasilamari.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So
Again, Legends.
yeah, again, Legends. But see, so when the discussions of bringing Thrawn into Rebels happened, the conversation about the
It's either Yasilamari or the Yasilamiri.
Sure, whatever.
But yeah,
That's
the
a big
things
word.
on
I just remember it was a bunch
the
of
thing
letters.
the thing on the picture behind him.
right, and so, and that's the compromise, because so the first thing they did was cut them out because they looked to George's rules about Star Wars and about the Force, and so all living things,
Yeah.
technically all things give out the Force, because the rock isn't living, but
The
all
rock.
all things gives the Force. So if you are a living thing, you can't like negate the Force. You just can't. It's the rules, and so Filoni was like, okay, so we can't do that, so we'll do the homage to.
Yeah.
So that kills. I mean, if you got someone like Filoni fighting along this,
No, I agree. I agree.
It'll never fly.
I don't think it'll be the Vong. I don't think.
Yeah,
it
no,
ever would.
I don't think it would either.
I think it's an interesting scenario
They keep
to discuss.
talking about some menace in the unknown regions
Yep.
in the novels, and
Yep.
and so
multiple times in
'cause-
multiple pieces of work.
Yeah,
That is canon, by the
right.
way.
And again, like the Thrawn trilogy, I know that they've talked a little bit about it in the Aftermath, and I didn't read Aftermath,
Uh-huh.
but in the Thrawn trilogy, it's something that the Chiss have been talking about too. And so, I haven't read the newest one. So,
I wonder. Oh, they brought like the Hapes cluster back, and like that would be cool, just as their own, empire.
right.
Yeah. While you've been civil warring for the last 80 years, here we are.
I don't know anything about them.
The Hapes cluster, like in the Legends book, that's
Sounds like a venereal disease.
It very much
it,
does.
well, yeah.
I have a habeas cluster. Take some penicillin.
That's
you'll be
where
all right. Get his back to tank.
It's your first one. High five.
I'm trying to think of Tenel Ka. So she was like the Queen Mother's daughter, but she was also Dathomirian. Like, because novels, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
But like they
Or
were
you
a
used to.
they were a matriarchal society that was a series of, I don't remember how many planets, but they were, it was a cluster of planets, and they were all ruled by the Queen Mother, and they were very insular, and you didn't mess with them because they would kill you. And they just saw men as weak, breeding stock, and there's worse ways to go.
Snoo.
The only downside is the way you're teeing it up is like the inner fandom menace in me is like, no, we're men.
Right. but and that's why like I'm really shocked that exists, in fandom menace in fandoms, because like fans like that started getting upset when all those books went away.
Yeah.
And that was a major part of it. Like I don't think there's a single book out there that doesn't have strong female characters.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure there are, but not that really stand out as like, man, I don't know. But anyway.
So that was one of the things they covered a lot. And that was one of my kind of spaces that it was a question I thought about the other day and threw at Scotty or today rather, and threw at him is just, just thinking about like because my entire life, part of my journey as a Star Wars fan has been the original trilogy. What happens next? And we read the Thrawn books, and then what movies would they make? And then we get prequels, and it's like, okay, what's before the prequels? And what happens? What happens in between? And we get Clone Wars, then we get Rebels, and we get Rogue One, and we get all this great stuff that's in between what we already have. Yet I don't see us. We're still the content that's still working is still in the box that we've made for them.
Right.
Anything outside the box doesn't exist. We're still relying very much on the original trilogies to tell the stories. And I just think it's kind of a fascinating scenario.
I think something you said in there made me think of something. I know I said it on one of our past episodes. My biggest problem with this, the final trilogy, is, and again, you talked about it earlier this evening, Scotty, is the way they treated the original cast, the original characters. For 40 years, right, after watching the original trilogy, in my head, it's been they saved the day. They had good lives, right? They deserved their happily ever after, especially now that there was Disney. And not a single one of them had a happily ever after.
Nope, they destroyed all of their lives.
Yeah, and like now I hope Rey gets a happily ever after, but chances are,
it's the tragic hero thing that I think is a trope that's it's way played, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's okay for the character to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, because, Joss Whedon would never let Buffy be happy. Like, that was the whole point of what made Buffy so good is...
Yeah, because Joss Whedon he's a psychopath.
But, like...
Prior to him getting in trouble, I would support the guy a lot.
Huh?
He's a Me Too.
His wife Me Too'd him.
Oh, really?
His ex-wife Me Too'd him.
He's not necessarily a great...
But then again, it comes from his ex-wife, and I have one of those.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm
with you.
I didn't
fine.
hear that, so I had no idea. But, yeah, he was like, the thing that makes Buffy so intriguing is that, like, anytime she'll never be happy. Like, anytime something might be going well, tragedy. Something like tragedy. But like, if you go past the last season of it and even into the comics, it starts again.
Yeah.
The comics just
Well,
like
it's the same way with Firefly.
Yeah.
They get a movie which should have buttoned it up, and it ends in tragedy.
Yeah.
And Mal just kind of drives off into space.
Yeah.
Because I think Whedon gets his jimmies off on that stuff.
Well,
I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disparaging it. This is what he likes. What he likes. I can't help it. But
there's a downturn to all of it. I think the number one thing, I think we talked a little bit last week, but the number one thing that I find fascinating in the post Rise of Skywalker world in Star Wars is Jedi suddenly has a different emotion when you watch it, because that happy ending is gone.
Yeah.
It's a moment. But war is that way, right?
Right.
So you hear these stories of like the Christmas breaks, like they're was the Battle of the Bulge, wherever it was,
Yeah.
and they took that. They had that Christmas break, and then you've heard stories about the lost German and the GI, and they get together, and for Christmas it's a calm, and there's a treatise and all that stuff. Maybe that's what these are in these people's lives, and they're always going to be at war. But good God, man, can we not get a break every once in a while for something else?
It's just, ugh.
I understand part of this. I get it in the Star Wars universe. Okay, look. It's in the damn title, war.
Right.
You gotta have one. It's not right?
Yep.
Right. So you gotta have a war. And so I get it. However, I leave Jedi expecting happiness because they win. Han and Leia are clearly getting together. Luke's going to do his own thing. And this is what we get. We come back to Han and Leia got together, but apparently they couldn't make it work. Their son's evil. They split apart, and they go back to what they know. I'm going to be a general, and I'm going to be the smuggler.
Yep.
Luke, who was going to be
Han lost the Falcon on top of it.
Han loses the Falcon on top of it, which, and then Luke, who was one of our two hopes, right, comes up and becomes an utter failure to the point where he lives as a recluse, because that's what Yoda and Ben
Which is
did.
garbage. That's not true.
Right.
I hate that meme. It makes me mad. Ben Kenobi was not there because he failed.
No, he's there because
He's watching. He's protecting Luke. That's what I believe. I'm sticking with it.
but they did fail.
No, he didn't.
He did. He fell. Yeah, he did. Hell, he fell in a heartbeat.
No, Qui-Gon failed. Qui-Gon failed. Qui-Gon's the one that brought that little shit into the universe and gave it an opportunity. Qui-Gon did it. And Obi-Wan had to live with that and pick it up. He didn't want it. He brought it up. He counters the point. And then Qui-Gon, like, whatever. Qui-Gon is the one that failed everyone.
Then Obi-Wan could have walked away and he doesn't. He takes it.
Which
Yoda,
is honorable.
Yoda is like, we don't want you to do this, but we're going to let you.
Yeah.
And so I will concede the point on the Qui-Gon thing. However, they all enabled.
That's fair.
So, and it was to the point, and let's not just
The
talk.
Phantom Enabler.
Right, and let's not just talk Anakin. Let's talk Sidious, who is literally under their nose for the entire.
So I have a theory that I've never brought up on this show. I used to talk about. Yeah. I have a theory that Yoda knew the entire time. Yoda, absolutely. And Yoda is living on Dagobah out of guilt. He knew that the only way to bring balance to the Force, he knew they were out of control. So Yoda literally let it happen, and he lives with the guilt. That's why he lives on Dagobah. And then when Luke comes to him and he finally sees that maybe this did work out, all that hope being shifted, that's why he passes in that moment. That's my theory that Yoda knew. And if you rewatch the prequels just in boredom one day and you pop them on, just play that in the back of your head and watch Yoda knowing. It's a weird sensation, but it feels, and even in the Clone Wars cartoon, it still seemed like he knew.
That's how I know that Jar Jar is Darth Plagueis.
I can't wait till we get video because you see the disdain.
No, it's
God, wouldn't it suck for Darth Plagueis to figure out he can reincarnate himself into goddamn Jar Jar Binks?
oh my god, that's
so angry.
that would be
That is the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
yes.
Misa can swim now.
I mean, I don't even understand how.
I
don't know.
hate Jar Jar. I'll say that. Jar Jar's grown on me over the years. Phantom Menace has grown on me over. I think it's the best of this prequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I still have. Attack is just a tough movie to get through.
Yeah.
I haven't
The
watched
front
it in a while.
half of that movie is garbage
But
water.
there's some stuff in Attack I like too. I like even as overacted as it is, and I try to step myself back from it because it's George Lucas not directing. That's what that problem is for all three movies. But I like when Anakin goes to rescue his mom and kills the Tusken Raiders, and then I like his little fit about you know he killed all the Tusken Raiders, and then Padme's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just admitted slaughtering stuff. You're like, man, whatever. I love you.
Yeah.
You're the man for me.
Oh, that must mean he's a good protector.
Yeah.
And
What?
He's so broody.
So seriously, so like if he would have came back to her after killing all the younglings, she'd probably been like, sweet.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we can get on the waiting list for that preschool with ours.
Oh my God, that's great. By the way, we're having twins.
That's all right. There was
Annie-
another room of younglings.
Sorry, Annie. I just said we needed 2 spots, not everyone.
Oh my God, it's awful.
That one kid acted better than I did, so he had to go.
Rise of Skywalker. I'm going to get an Oscar.
That step back, dude. He's like, this Hayden Christensen's gonna hit me.
And there's another one that suffered with a challenging career scenario.
Yeah.
Those tough times for him. You know,
Him
so
and
it's-
Jake.
Yeah, Jake's a different kind of kid. Actors always take it pretty rough. They have a tough time. Do we have Facebook questions? We want to hit those up?
Yep.
That's what I just opened back up for.
What?
Is there a soundbite that someone says, "Do not question the Force"?
No, we can make yours.
Yeah, but I was hoping it was a line I just didn't remember.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm constantly obsessed with segment ideas, segue ideas.
I was gonna say, go get you one. Roll around. They see me rolling.
Look at you, white nerdy.
White dirty.
All right. So the two questions that were on the original My Star Wars Life post that Scotty posted yesterday at noon. We have Gregory Olson. I say that
Hey,
like
Greg, our buddy Greg.
like he's a stranger. No, he's like literally 20 feet from us right now.
Yes.
He said, "Would Keanu Reeves really make a good Darth Revan?"
Ooh, interesting.
Serious note, do you think Star Wars should concentrate on something like The Mandalorians for future movies? The previous 9 movies have been about Sith versus Jedi, so why not something like the rise of one of the Mandalores?
I like it. That's a great idea. And
So-
that's a brilliant segue from our previous topic.
Yeah, I know, a
Well
little
done,
late,
sir.
but yeah,
No, it's
we
perfect.
sort of touched on it.
No, it's great.
A little bit ago when we were talking about where the stories go from here.
I'm all about. I'm either I want way way early, so
Yeah.
we're in the Night Raven or Reven or whatever
Revan.
you're saying it is,
Revan.
or I'd like to go the other direction and be after Episode 9. I don't care which, but I don't. I like the Mando where it is right now, but I don't want everything to be in the same time frame.
Right, no. Well, no, he's saying why not something like the rise of one of the Mandalores?
Oh, I see
Like
what
after
you're
that,
saying.
when, after the Mandalorian Sith War and all that stuff, or Jedi Sith War, or the Mandalorian Wars that take place during KOTOR 1 and 2. I think I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah.
If we go in the future, I want a real non-Pornhub version of Darth Talon, because that would be awesome.
It's from Legacy, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever read Legacy? You read any of the comics?
No.
With what was his name?
Cade
Cade
Skywalker.
Skywalker,
Oh, interesting.
Luke's grandson.
Yeah, so it's way in the future,
And there's this like cabal of Darths.
Yeah.
There's not just like 2. There's like 7 of them.
right, and all led
And this
by
was a Legend comic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This was kind of the Dark Horse's last final
Yeah.
hurrah before Disney bought it.
But Darth Talon was a Twi'lek, red, tattooed.
Oh, nasty.
What? Right. Just
Yeah.
every dirty fantasy fanboy's dream of. Yeah.
Okay.
I want
guy.
that Darth. I thought that's where Darth. Shoot. Darth Shootius.
Darth Shootius. It's gonna be my next Sith name. Shootius. It's dumb as the rest of them.
They're pretty bad.
Pelagius. Sidious.
I was so mad because
Vader.
my very first
Vaderius.
my very first
Nobody knows.
Star Wars role playing character was a dude that ended up, of course, had to have his touch with the dark side, and I called him Darth Mortis. I mean, that Dark Death sounded good, right? So when I started playing Old Republic, the MMO,
right.
I was like, I'm gonna be Mortis, and then I'm gonna be Darth Mortis later, and it was taken because he's actually in the game for 4 seconds. He's on the council at the end, and you're like, oh, Darth Mortis said this. I was like, that's all I got from something I had 30 years ago. That's such crap.
He
Yeah,
also
that's
has a
terrible.
cool dagger.
Huh?
He also has a cool dagger.
It made me so mad.
Maybe it was the same dagger.
So I know I thought it
That's a
was
joke.
the Sith guy in Legacy, the main dude, was the Tusken Raider Jedi from Dark Horse 2.
Oh yeah, that's dumb as hell.
Oh no, the Tusken Raider Jedi was awesome. Was
How?
awesome.
How the Tusken Raiders are complete impulse.
Okay, so the story is a Jedi crash lands on Tatooine and it's kind of
Darth Crate.
Crate thinking. I knew it would start with a K. He crash lands on Tatooine and kind of uses, because of his affinity with the Force, survives Tusken Raiders first of all, and then kind of ends up in one of their tribes and becomes one of them, and then marries a Tusken Raider woman and has a son who's Force sensitive, and then Ki-Adi-Mundi goes looking for the Jedi, the missing Jedi.
Yeah.
Years later, and they find out that he's got a son. So the Tusken Raider dies. The Jedi Tusken Raider dies, and so Ki-Adi-Mundi takes his son, who's Force sensitive, to the Council. He's Anakin's apprentice for a little while too.
crazy.
Yeah. He fights with like a gaffy stick and 2 lightsabers. He's a freak. I love it.
So here's a Darth Talon cosplay for you.
Oh, hot God. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, and I'm just saying, it's a SFW if you want to put it in the show notes.
Right.
That was good. That's a great question. Now, what do we got?
No, I'm not done with it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please continue.
So
Continue the joke.
here's what I would like. If we're gonna do non-Jedi, non-Sith, also would like to do non-Empire.
I'm with you on that.
I would love to see a Godfather-style gangster film, perhaps with the Hutts.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
I would
good.
love to see.
That's a lot of wide angle shots, though.
No,
right?
no, maybe not. I don't think we would have our Marlon Brando Hutt, but I think you do a gangster story. I think it would play very well. You know, the whole fringe stuff that we've not really explored.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a taste of it.
We're
in
getting
Man
a
Bed.
little taste of now, but we're doing it in a western. I'd love to see it as a 50 style gangster film.
Sure.
Oh, God,
I'd be
it'd
all over
awesome.
that.
I mean, and I'll say it again. If we're not doing Jedi, I still want X-Wing Top Gun.
Yeah, I'd take a fighter pilot movie. 100%.
I would only if the Winterfell was in the TIE fighters.
But I want X-Wing.
Yeah, but they gotta have TIE fighters to shoot down.
There was only a MiG in like the last 5 minutes of Top Gun.
Why
you
can't
don't
you have
need
the
to-
Red Baron though? I think it'd be a good.
Yeah, you have Winterfell.
I'm fine with that. Wedge's brother-in-law can be there.
Yeah,
That's fine.
you do that whole story would be awesome.
Yeah. But yeah.
My enemy marries my sister. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good.
Enemy Mine 2.
Next question. Sorry, I just wanted to bring
If
up.
you can get Lou Gossett Jr. to do it, by all means.
He just did Watchmen. I
Hey, he
think
was
he's
great in Watchmen.
I haven't seen it yet either. Well, I'm so behind. All right. Second question is from Mr. Kevin Laporte.
Laporte. My friend Kevin.
What flavor ice cream is Beskar?
Ooh, that's good.
And the reason why is because it's in the ice cream maker.
There we go.
Okay, I was wondering where that question came from.
It's in the ice
I
cream
get it
maker.
now.
It's in the ice cream maker.
I'm slow. I'm old.
Well, what flavor is Beskar?
It's gonna be something.
It's got to be like best caramel fudge.
Oh, best caramel fudge.
Yeah.
I like it.
Salted best
For you?
caramel.
Oh, salted.
Salted.
I was gonna go with very simple. It's vanilla.
Just vanilla plain.
Not even French bean vanilla, just
Just vanilla.
vanilla.
I would go with Tatooine Tutti Frutti or Mando Maple.
Oh, Mando maple.
Because apparently Mandalorians are Canadians or from Vermont. I don't know.
Either way, they love syrup. They love sweet stuff.
That's sweet stuff. They love this.
Mandos love sweet stuff. That's why Mando eats Mando maple cereal and bran flakes. I don't know.
Because, yeah, he's got time to take off his Beskar to shit.
Are you kidding me? He just poops right through it. That's why he wears a cape.
This is the way. It used to be that's in the way. So they started shitting in their outfits, and now it's this that is the way.
You know they got space diapers. We've seen Luke in one in the back to tank. So
Oh, that's true.
All right, let me go to where I had shared it because I know I have another question there.
So that Bacta, do you think the Luke Bacta worked as fast as the spray on Bacta?
Hell no, nothing works as fast as that spray on Bacta. That was like Bacta 18.
Yeah.
Psh, psh, oh, I'm better.
Oh, don't worry about it. You're shot, blown up, bleeding from the head.
Yeah.
Let's just get a little, have a little spritz of this here.
I'm pretty sure that was Tony Stark nanobots in that shit.
100%.
All right.
don't think about it. Just don't think.
Yeah.
Just go with
Star Wars physics.
Yeah, thank you very much.
E-Web. All right. So then our friend Rusty, who's out in
it.
Arizona.
Arizona.
Apparently he tried the last time we had questions, and I guess he answered or asked his question while we were actually recording last time. So he said, since I missed the last one of these, I get to ask again. I have a really important question.
Sure.
My stepsons and I disagree on something, and I'd like to get the opinion of some experts.
That is us. We're
As a
experts.
side note, you are still, I don't know if we're in the right spot. However, he says, I say sheev is short for Shivan, but the kids say it's short for Shivjamin. Which is it?
Oh, it's definitely Sheevjamin.
I was thinking it's Shivaltholomew.
Shiva's Christ,
Well,
man.
well, to be honest, it's a Nabubian name.
A Nabubian name. What's a Nabubian?
About 5 credits around the corner.
Oh. Put that flan in my hand, little man. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me, yo.
Sheevy Beebies.
Sheevy Beebies.
I will say it's just Sheev because it's good. It's solid, right? It's so solid that he just went by his last name.
No, I thought his name was Sheev Palpatine.
Yeah, it's Sheev Palpatine.
Oh, I
That's
see what
why
you're saying.
he's like, I don't like it. It's my name's Sheev. It's so stupid. I'm just be Palpatine.
That's probably why he's evil.
You know
His
what?
parents give him a
Emperor.
stupid name.
You could call me Emperor.
But say it, Emperor Sheev Palpatine
I
really
told him
doesn't sound like it's
Make
threatening
my
to me.
granddaughter Empress, so you can be the Empress.
Like,
Okay, now he sounds like the dude from Squidbillies.
Sheev Jimin. Sorry, you know what though, Rusty? Now that I think about it,
Oh my God!
I apologize. I'm gonna have to go with Sheev Jimin. I
Jimin
do
is
like
good.
Sheev Jimin.
Yeah.
I just want Ray after. I want her to accept the Empress part and then call it to Kylo and be, Kylo, give me a name.
Moonchild Palpatine. That'll be fun.
Oh dear God.
Say my name. Forehead. Your name is Forehead.
Forehead. That poor child had an unfortunate one, didn't she?
She's gorgeous now. FYI. Full disclosure.
like-
She's a very pretty lady. But the way they did her
Oh, yeah,
hair.
she was heed pants now. Yeah.
Heed pants. No.
100%. She's the OG heed.
I have not heard anybody but me reference that movie in 10 years.
Oh
It's
God,
so
it's
big
a
it has its
classic.
own weather. It was a weather
Yes,
system.
it's like Sputnik, pointy and pots.
I say that to my kids, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Get out of the way."
Yeah. That girl did have a ginormous forehead, though. You could
Yeah.
land a couple of aircraft.
I think it's the way her hair was pulled back, and it was all.
Give me a name.
All right, there you go. Sheev Jimin
Sheev Jimin. The experts
have weighed in.
weighed in on Sheev Jimin.
I have nearly produced 400 podcasts. I'm pretty good. I'm okay. I'll go
Yeah,
with
you're
it.
close.
I'll be an expert. I don't have a degree in Star Wars, but but there
Can
was
we
one.
get one? I've got a
I think
printer.
we could probably figure that
Pretty
out.
sure I've got a printer. We can do this.
I bet we could get one.
Sheev University.
That's our professor.
Professor Sheev.
Sheev Jimin.
I have questions.
You have questions.
Mark, you have
We've got answers.
Our buddy Mark.
Jinx?
Mark wants to know.
Is it a Coke time?
Mark wants to know. This is a. You can't answer this question.
Most anticlimactic thing I've ever seen. Sorry.
So this question is only for JD.
Oh, okay.
JD special.
Yeah, and you'll know. You'll
Normally the wife's the only one that gets
I would say
that.
you would understand why, but you won't. So JD, how did DJ tell the First Order to the escape plan when he didn't know, nor did Rose, Poe, or Finn?
Why is this for me?
Because that
Oh,
movie
because
What is that from?
okay,
What
I
is
get
this
it.
you're referring to?
How did DJ?
It was about like this.
You know why? You know why? I have it exactly. So, BB-9E. Go with me, right? BB-9E
But
is
real
an they're an astromech type droid.
Hold on. Disney had a Mr. Wonderful opportunity by not calling him BB Hate.
Right.
So
Sure.
I'm just saying, BB Hate is what that droid should be called.
So just like any astromech droid, they don't speak anything but bells and whistles, but they understand most languages.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure DJ, my antithesis, because he spells his name completely backwards.
And has a weird stutter.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I bet the is Morse code in some language that BB-9E went, oh, wait a minute, escape plan. I got it. Let me go report to Phasma so she can get blowed up.
I will accept that.
Star Wars physics. And next.
And circle gets a square.
Yay!
I haven't said one all show, and you got a Jim J. Bullock worked in. Now we have a perfect podcast, folks.
Our buddy Brad wants to know, why didn't they point the ion cannon at the walkers on Hoth?
It actually didn't go that. It doesn't go flat.
Yeah.
It's made to fire into space.
Bingo.
Just like any good anti-aircraft weapon, it does not fire parallel to the ground.
You can't fight. It only shoots up, not down.
I have a
We do
bullet.
ups, not downs.
I have a bullet the size of a building that if I made it parallel to the ground would go, 8 miles? And then shoot off into space anyway because of the curvature of the planet. So
No, the Earth is flat, so it doesn't matter.
I swear, oh God. Hoth wasn't, though,
You know what? It's
because we've seen it from space.
Yep.
technically it was because it was a matte painting.
Facts.
That just means it wasn't glossy, not the other kind of flat, sir.
And you can tell we've gone down the whole way.
And that was questions. If you have any questions for us, you can definitely hit us up on the Facebook page.
Are we sleepy?
Kind of. My Star Wars Life. Facebook.com/My Star Wars Life. That's it. That's where it's at.
What'd he say?
What's in that cup?
By the way,
What's in the cup?
I'm struggling, and my co-host just watched me, and this is kind of like, he's gonna drown me. I'm drowning. No help.
I will give you that high five before your hand goes all the way down.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up as I Terminator die.
Oh my god!
I now know why you cry. Da, da, da.
My go-to knock to come in.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Also, Kenny Omega's sound he makes right before he does a cool wrestling move.
Huh?
Yeah, see? I know all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Multiverse something, I think, is where you're headed.
I'm getting there. Next week, things we will talk about. Next week, we will talk about Where's Ezra.
Yeah, I think it's important.
I think we'll talk about Where's Ezra.
Absolutely.
I'm actually wearing my Where's Ezra shirt for that episode because I have one. I will talk about that because I want to talk about Rebels because the rumors is Rebels is coming back by the end of the year. I'm curious about that. Well, it's a rumor.
Ooh, interesting.
It's a mystery.
The fun thing is that we're now in the land of rumors because there's
nothing new.
The only thing new that's coming, and we'll talk about this next week too. We'll talk about Clone Wars coming up.
Yep.
We got Obi-Wan coming up, too.
No, we got Clone Wars coming up soon.
No, I know, but Obi-Wan is filming.
Is it filming? I think
they're still crewing up.
I think
Pre-production.
Pre-production.
they're
We need to
pre-pro.
get on that crew. How do we figure that shit out?
I got to figure out where they're filming it.
Tanzania.
Englewood Studio, and not Englewood. What's it
No,
called?
because of the Mando thing about how the screen
Right.
stuff works.
What's the one?
Tyler Perry's-
Pinewood.
Pinewood. in
Englewood.
London.
Englewood Studios.
Yeah, I don't really want
Different atmosphere. Wrong kind of shooting.
Yeah.
Could be one of the Tyler.
That's my favorite quote.
I'm just gonna say a little uncomfortable. This is our contributions in the multiverse. Go out and make yours, and may the force be with you.
I knew you were going to say that.
Thank you for listening to the Mobcast Network.